everybody, welcome on in. It's me, Crystal, also known as Skuldsbane. Welcome back to my little channel, or if it's your first time in, welcome in. Come in, have a seat, grab a drink, come hang out for a while. I am sorry that I did not get a video up last week like I had been talking about on my previous flosstube. We got COVID. And nothing was happening. I lost like 3 days. I have no idea what a sleep schedule is anymore. It's just kind of what happened. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. We're getting back on track. I also apologize for this being a few days late. Normally I post on Fridays, but yeah, COVID happened. This is going to be floss tube, I believe it's number 8. I don't know. I can't count anymore. And this is, you're going to hear a lot of zipping and a lot of plastic bags and things because I was not prepared to film today in any way, shape, or form. I was planning on it, and then we've got the construction going on with the apartments, and so there's a whole bunch of construction noise. So I put everything away. And then the construction noise stopped, so I'm like running to get stuff back out and get ready to do this. So, I don't have actually a whole lot because with being so sick, I did not work on very many things, especially considering it's been like 2.5 weeks. Don't have any of my stats or anything because I didn't track it at all, but we're gonna do this anyway, haphazard as it is. The first thing, just because it's on top, Laura from Stitching by the Shore and I are hosting a start along, stitch along, whatever you want to call it. It is the Lena Ova Sal, and this is one of the pieces that I have going for that. This is the Lena Ova Mary Poppins sampler. Now, when you saw this last time, I had just barely started Bert. I didn't have any of the moon in there, anything like that. Let's see if I can hold this up with one hand. No, of course not. But I was down to about there on the plants, so I finished up that whole block and part of the border for the next one down, and that's where that is. This is being done with 939 on Fiber on a Whim pistachio. Let me check the count. 16 count. 16 count. So I got quite a bit done on that actually because, when you're only working in one color, you can just kind of turn your brain off and just and go. And man, that was the best thing. Just being able to not have to think about it. Amazing, amazing. I do have quite a long way to go on that. I know there are a couple of people, I think there are 3 other people doing Mary Poppins, and I don't think any of them are doing the entire outer border because it's big and it's beautiful, but it's literally about half the stitches in the pattern, and it's just a lot. But I really like it, so I'm putting it in there. And I've also been working on the Lena Ova Dracula, but I didn't work on that these past couple of weeks, so that one's not going to make an appearance today. Next, the A Dimensions kit. It's the skating stocking. This I found, I think it was on Etsy or something. Somebody was selling the kit. I don't even know if the kit is still available. Sorry, man. I just don't know. But I'm doing a stocking for each one of the family members. So for myself and the man thing, who is my other half, and then his sister and his parents. None of my family is in this area, and so we don't, they don't come celebrate with us. We don't go celebrate with them. It's just travel is too much. But this is the first one that I've started. I have no idea whose it's going to be yet. But I did a fair amount. All of what I did was up here in the half stitch or 10th stitch or whatever you want to call it, up in the sky. And you can start to see here is where Santa's sleigh is. And we're starting to move down into, I believe this is the last color before it just hits the blank light blue Ada. And this is just the Ada that came with the kit. And all of the kit floss, I mean, you can see, it's hard to see on camera, but you can see like the white, that's the snow on top of the roof over here. And going up here as well. That is where this is. I need to get moving on this. I figure if I can get this one done before Christmas this year, then I've got, 3 months to do each of the other 4. I've got goals, man. I've got goals. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but I've got goals. It's a thought. But I did really like the little townhouses on, shine. But I like all the little townhouses, the row of townhouses. I just think they're amazing. So that's why I chose this one. They're just adorable. Let's see. Okay. This one, I don't remember what I worked on this one. We're exploring. This is Baba Yaga's hut. I don't think I did very much on this one. I think it's basically where it was at last time. I think I put in one strand or one length over here in the wing. Yeah. Over, let's see if I can hold this up. Over here, and I think right in there is where I put in the one strand. I don't even remember, to be very honest with you. I was going to have the goal to have this completed by Halloween this year. It's not gonna make it. It's just not. I mean, it might, but I would have to monogamously work on this and do absolutely nothing else with my time. Of course, with my sleep schedule the way it is, or lack of sleep schedule. I'm sorry, I'm like holding it really crooked. Or lack of sleep schedule, because I've been waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and just been awake. It's now 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been awake since 3 o'clock this morning. You can see I'm just up, so there's plenty of energy. It could happen. I may have to start pulling this out early in the morning instead of doing some of the other things. But that's where that one is. We have next Crackly. I have to flip some pages. I apologize. Lots of noise, I know, I'm sorry. There we go. Next we have the Great White Christmas. And I'm going to have all of the information. I always put all the information for all of the fabrics and the flosses and everything. Fabric on the last one was a standard, I believe it's a 16 count white Ada with all of the called for DMC. But I do always put all of the information down below in the description box. So there's links to the shops and what patterns that came from them on various YouTubers that I've been watching, which I don't have any because I didn't record any because I could not think well enough to be able to record any of that information. But this is I believe it is Santa Jaws Stitch Along. if I recall correctly. It's going to be down below. And I got a lot done on this one. Because, again, it is monochromatic, and I could just stitch and not think. And here's where we are. Last time, it's all rolled up. This is on a random blue 40 count that I just got in a sample pack from Forbidden Fiber Co. Last time we saw it, this side had just barely gotten down to maybe there. So I've done this entire, well, basically this entire section. It's being done with a single strand of roasted marshmallow. Okay, good, you focused. Good job, camera. Single strand of roasted marshmallow over 2 on this 40 count. And it's being stitched in reverse. So the pattern itself has the stitches to be done are the dark stitches, and it's meant to be on a light background. But you can actually see it looks like a shark. I'm so proud. It looks like a shark. If I can get this done, and I don't know, this is going to be a gift for the man thing. He knows. He sits and he watches me stitch it. I sent him the pattern. I showed him a photo of the pattern. And he's the one that told me to get it. He didn't ask me if I wanted it. He told me I was going to get it. So, yeah, that's... we're that way with each other. Generally, when we want something, either we get it for ourselves, or we tell the other person that they are buying it for us, and since we have a shared household account, we just get it for ourselves and tell them that you bought me this. Just so you know, this is a thing that happened. If anybody asks, it was a gift from you. It's what we do. And it works out well for us. Let's see, I don't have any finishes today. I have 2 starts. The first start is for the rain. Autumn is as joyful. Sorry, my brain is not, I had to actually look it up. The autumn is as joyful stitch along. That started, let's see, today is the 23rd, so it started yesterday. Oh my gosh. I am doing this on a 37 count cloudburst from Legacy Linen. And I'm actually doing a conversion. I converted the colors myself to, and some of them I know are not quite correct, but converted to anchor floss. And this is where I've gotten so far. It's sitting at, I don't know, 4% done, 5% done. I was working on this earlier today. It's the only reason I know that. But I love the colors that are in it and the colors that I picked. It's coming together really well. I'm doing this 2/2. I got in the first little bit up here and I was like, man, that's a lot. That's thick, and I almost thought about pulling it out and doing it 1/2. And I'm glad I didn't, now that I'm continuing to go with it. It makes it just a little bit stiffer, but it's really nice. It feels good in the hand, and it's filling out really well. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. And that is the Autumn as Joyful. I said that. Autumn is as Joyful Sal. And that's where that is. And then the last start that I have, I've talked about it because unicorn poop. For So much unicorn poop. Laura from Stitching by the Shore does an I Spy game every month. And I started it. I'm not going to be able to finish the prompts this month. No, it's not happening. Too much has happened in between. But for one of the prompts was something you would see at a wedding. And of course, something you would see at a wedding is a bride. And I've been talking about doing the Bride of Dracula on unicorn poop. So I started the Bride of Dracula. And the fabric, this amazing hot pink and purple fabric, is unicorn poop. And that's where I've gotten so far. And it is half of the Bride of Dracula's face, a little bit over half of the Bride of Dracula's face. And then over here it says the female of the species is deadlier than the male, something like that. That's where I have gotten so far. I did do an anchor conversion on this as well. I converted one of the colors incorrectly, but I think it'll be okay. If not, then I'm going to have to live with it because it's for my personal use anyway. So, that's fine. That's fine. And the floss that I got to do the words, because as charted, as you can see, I pop it up here, you know. As charted, it was greens, and I just thought that would be awful with this fabric. So instead, I got a variegated DMC in like purples and blues. And I think it will work really well. We'll find out. We'll find out. But that is the one prompt that I was able to finish for the I Spy game this month. Is a bride. You would see a bride at a wedding. And as far as stitching, that's it. I really have not been able to get much done as far as that goes. So if that's all you were here for, I'm sorry, but that's it. It's you know, I've had 15 minutes. There's not much. Hopefully, next time that I do a floss tube, there will be more. I do have a lot of plans, things that don't necessarily have to do with floss tube, but do have to have a lot to do with other crafts and things. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in life events, because there are a couple other things that have been going on, go ahead and stick around. If you were just here for the stitching, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate, again, all of your patience in waiting for this to happen and dealing with my life stuff. I appreciate you, and I hope you have an awesome time. Other plans, things that are not cross-stitch related. I don't know how many of you, or if any of you follow me on Instagram, but I posted yesterday. Time is weird. I posted yesterday on Instagram a list of some of the basic things that a woman living in the city in, I think it was like 1917, would have in her wardrobe. For those of you who know me personally or have heard, you know that I do historical reenactment, and I'm actually more comfortable wearing a corset than I am in modern clothing, partially because of a genetic disorder that I have. It helps with back support, etc., etc., etc. Partially because it just is. I don't know why, but for me, if it's a custom fit corset, it's really comfortable, generally. So one of my goals has been to make a capsule wardrobe. I do have a start on it, because I do the reenactment, and I dress in 1900s 1900s, between 1900 and about 1908. And especially for the Haunted Museum tours, which are coming up there the 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Museum of Seminole County History in Sanford, Florida. I'll put a link to information down below. Also, side note, I found out that the Sanford Museum, the City Museum, has a YouTube channel, which, Brigitte, I'm sorry, I know you told me this forever ago, but it didn't click in my brain that you saying it means it actually happens, because my brain is my brain. So I'm going to link that below too. Yay. But because of that, I do have a start. So I'm going to continue, and this list of what's in the wardrobe is something that would have been purchased over the course of like 3 years. So I'm going to start working on actually building that wardrobe and using it as daily wear because I enjoy it, not for any other reason. And most of what's in there is just very practical. It's like, 5 shirts, a couple of skirts, make sure you have enough underwear. You have like 3 business suits, so like a walking suit, a business suit, things like that. A couple of pieces for going out, like 1 evening gown. Just basic things. Well, I say basic, it's not basic to everybody, but it would be essentially the same as saying, make sure you've got 5 work shirts and 5 pairs of slacks, or like 3 pairs of slacks and a couple of skirts. And make sure you've got 3 or 4 shirts that you wear at home with your junked up jeans. Make sure you've got comfies for pajamas or for lounging around. It's basically the same type of thing that we would find in a closet today, just in period appropriate terms. So there's really not much of a difference in a wardrobe today. Yeah. So that's a thing that is in the works, and part of what I'm doing with that is for some of the undergarments and for like the collars of the shirts and things. I'm actually making those. I did mention a couple videos ago that I had started tatting. So I have actually in the works, this is the beginning of a collar, a shirt collar. And this is actually going, I have a full morning dress that is custom fit. I made it myself. There we go. And I need to modify it. So this is going to be, the collar on there. And it will come down to here. And then it's actually a suit, so it's got the jacket portion, which is actually the same piece as the underbodice. It's all one piece instead of multiple separate, like the shirt, waist, and then the jacket, and then the skirt. It's just a top and a skirt. So I've got this going. I'm doing crocheting for some of the other ones. I was able to pick up in one of the shorts that I posted, I was able to pick up, I think it was in one of those shorts, I don't remember, but I was able to pick up the yokes for a corset cover, and I'm going to use one as a nightgown yoke, so I won't have to make either one of those, which is great because they take freaking ever for me to do, just because I'm not fast at crochet. So that's all coming up. And I'm going to actually start a series of videos on the capsule wardrobe, or at least I'm planning to. There's a couple that are already up under the projects category or the projects playlist, like the mouse shirt that is still not complete. It is going to be a part of the capsule wardrobe because it is based off of the basic shirtwaist pattern that I use. the one that I really, really like, that fits me really well. So that's going to be a part of it. But that's all coming up, and it's going to happen over the course of a long time. This is a long-term project. This is not, I'm going to get it done in a month. This is going to be maybe a few years before I have to move on to something else and make for the plans. So there is that. There is, I already mentioned, the haunted tours coming up. What else is happening? So many things. Oh my goodness. Life stuff that's not crafting related. I guess actually crafting related. I made my own planner for next year. Like, I made the cover from a cardboard box and everything and printed out. The only thing that I did not make was the 3-ring binder loops. And I don't see it within easy reach, so I'm not going to show you. If you're interested in seeing the planner that I created for myself for next year, for 2025, let me know in the comments. I will do a flip through. It's not highly decorated or anything because I'm not going to start decorating it or doing anything with it until it comes closer to the beginning of the year. So if you would like me to start doing the planner decorations and basics of this is what my month looks like, and this is what my plan is, this is my meal plan, let me know. I'm totally okay to do that. You know, I'm not shy about it. I'll let you know what my life is. We also have, let's see, 2 days ago, so on Saturday, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, we share a brain cell, and she's amazing, and I love her, and she's getting married, and I'm a part of the wedding party, and her bridal shower was on Saturday. And because life is life, and things have been happening, we have not seen each other since she got engaged. So I got to meet, I went to the bridal shower, and I got to meet her mom for the very first time. I got to meet her fiance for the very first time at the bridal shower. I got to meet everybody else in the bridal party for the very first time at the shower. It was an interesting day. The whole theme of their wedding is black and red. She's the one that I did the veil for, and presented the veil as part of the gift. And because this is us and we share a brain cell, and evidently the groom also shares this brain cell with us because he thought this was the most hilarious thing ever, I had a ball gag that was given to me as a gag gift. It was part of a white elephant gift exchange within a Dungeons and Dragons group, and it was an inside joke to do with something that was found while we were playing D&D. And I ended up with this ball gag. And it was still in the box. It's been in the box for years. We stopped playing when COVID outbreak happened, right? So it was from prior to the COVID outbreak. And I kept threatening her to give her this ball gag. And we were talking, you know, voiceover on the internet. And we were talking one day with a group of online D&D players, and she turned around and she's like, hey, groom-to-be, hey, fiance, can we get a ball gag? Would this be okay? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So as part of their gift, their wedding gift, at the bridal shower, I put in, with the veil, this ball gag in a box. Because everybody needs a gag gift. But and they knew it was coming. They knew it was going to happen. They expected it to be at the bachelorette party, but the bachelorette party is going to be at an amusement park. So, no. So, yeah, we're going to one of the parks. We're going to one of the haunted house things at one of the parks for the bachelorette party. It's going to be freaking amazing. Because that's who these people are. That's who I am, and it's going to be great. But The room, as everybody was seated when they were opening gifts, there was the bride and groom were sitting here, and then this whole section of the room over here was the older ladies and the mother of the groom and the mother of the bride. And I was standing right behind them. I was taking photos. And then all the younger people and the people in the bridal party were like over by where I was. So all the older people were on the side of the room and all the younger people were kind of standing over here. The bride pulled this gift out because she knew what it was beforehand. And she was holding it in her lap as the first thing to open up as an icebreaker. And she pulled out the veil and she's like, "Oh, Crystal made this for me. It's part of the wedding gift. Da 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 da." Because at the time, you know, I have money struggles. I'm not afraid to say it. Especially now, I'm still looking for a job. And she knows this. And so she agreed that having the handmade veil would be the wedding gift, right? Fine. And she was showing it off, and everybody was oohing and ahhing, and then she pulled out the ball gag. And this entire half of the room over here, dead silence. You could have heard a pin drop. Even the crickets stopped chirping. It just total shock about. And all of the younger people started snickering and kind of giggling because it's a ball gag. It's a gag gift. And then the groom's mom sitting there, it took her a few seconds, but she said, "Well, we know we're going to be getting grandkids now." And it was just the most, it just, yes. And it was a heckin' icebreaker. And everybody in the room had been, you know, very quiet and very stoic up to that point. And that broke everything. It broke the ice, and everybody just started having a lot more fun past that point. The groom came up to me after it was all over when everybody was packing up, and he was like, "That is the best thing. Everybody is so appalled. They're not even talking to me right now. I love you for doing that. I love you right now." So it was a hit with the people that it needed to be a hit with. And that's the whole point. Right. But I'm looking forward. I am so looking forward to being in their wedding and being able to send them off. They're good people, and I love them. I do. So that's been happening. The job search is still searching. I'm putting aside about 2 hours every morning. I'll get up, and once the rest of the world, or the rest of the East Coast is awake around 9 or 10 o'clock, I'll start scrolling through job boards. So I'll put in a couple hours every morning just searching and putting out applications. I'm still fingers crossed about the funeral home because, again, I'm that person. And I think it'd be great. I'm that little creepy person. But they've not yet made a decision. I did get a hold of them on, I think it was Sunday. Yesterday. Oh my God, it was just yesterday. So yeah, I just got a hold of them, and they have not yet made a decision. They've been really busy. So, knocking on wood, because I think that would be great. That would be just amazing. Heckin' opportunity. But also putting in for everywhere else as well. What else is going on? I'm hoping that the hurricane is going to miss us. Not to be a terrible person, but I'd rather have it go towards the Panhandle than have it come inland and over the Orlando area, which is kind of where I am, because it has a terrible effect on my joints, and I don't want that type of pain. Selfish reasons. Completely selfish reasons. But valid. Other than that, yeah, that's my life right now. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else. I was going to, not this past Friday, but the one before that, the one that was completely skipped, not the one that's late. There were plans to go to one of the state parks with the Man-Thing and his sister, and obviously that we were both, neither one of us was, we were very sick, so that got canceled. That was supposed to be the first travelogue. This is some of the things that you can do if you're visiting the area, and especially if you don't have a lot of money. The state parks are just awesome to go for a day, or some of the local parks. That we do have some national parks here as well. Various museums that, some of them you can get in for $5. There's a couple of them that are free. So the Sanford Museum, which is going to be linked below, is actually one of the free museums that you can go through and spend a couple hours, spend an afternoon. So that did not happen. Still plans to get that little bit of series going though. So we're in this. We got this. But I think that's it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me and listening to me ramble and tell a story that has nothing to do with anybody, but I found amusing. and my friends found it amusing, and that's it. Thank you for joining me. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you like what you've been seeing, you know how this goes. You like, you subscribe, tell other people that I exist, follow on Instagram, all that stuff that you're supposed to do, And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much. Bye.